Last night, I received a message from a loyal and trusted supporter, one of my mods, Lorna, with a link to a YouTube video produced by New York City Emergency Management Department. Very nicely done, nicely produced, with professional acting, lighting, special effects. The lady is very pleasant. She almost smiles as she delivers message. See for yourself.
So there's been a nuclear attack. Don't ask me how or why, just know that the big one has hit, okay? So what do? There are 3 important steps that I want you to remember.
Now, the message is absolutely horrific. After watching this video, I had a very old primal fear creeped inside me. I instantly recalled the feeling. I had it before, about 35 years ago. But then it disappeared and stayed away for a long time. And now, after watching this message, the fear is back.
If you don't have one, get as far into the middle of the building as possible. If you were outside after the blast, get clean immediately. Remove and bag all outer clothing to keep radioactive dust or ash away from your body. Step 3, stay tuned. Follow media for more information. Don't forget to sign up for Notify NYC for official alerts and updates. And don't go outside until officials say it's safe.
Howdy everyone, my name is Konstantin and welcome to Inside Russia, where I explain how to be living in today's Russia. I usually do daily live streams where I deliver messages and interact with people watching, and then at the end we pray. Unfortunately, I cannot do a live today due to some personal circumstances. I didn't want to miss a day, so I decided to pre-record the video and do a premiere. In this video, I will just deliver the message. Obviously, I cannot answer the questions after, but tomorrow I'll be back to the usual live streams. Now, this message that I received from New York City Department of Emergency Management is very sinister. The fact that this video appeared on internet, in YouTube, tells that people start taking this threat seriously. And that itself is a very, very sinister thought. I don't like it. It's very uncomfortable. After I watched the video, I immediately remembered my younger days. I've heard that message before, and let me tell you, it was not as glamorous. It was very basic. It was very rough, I would say. And it was delivered to us, Soviet kids, in schools. We had a class dedicated to learning military defense. It was called NVP, Начальная военная подготовка, basic military training. Every single one of us, boys and girls, had to take the class. And a good part of the class was dedicated to safety procedures during the nuclear strike. I still remember the picture in the class books. A person laying down on the ground, covering head, and somewhere far over the horizon, a nuclear mushroom growing. And there was always a message. As soon as you see the nuclear strike, the mushroom in the sky, lay down on the ground and make sure that your feet facing a strike place and your head is away. Yeah, like, I was gonna make a big difference, you know. And then the message was very clear, and it went along what I just saw in this YouTube video. Quickly as you can, get inside, wash yourself off, stay inside, and wait until the directions from the authorities, from the military. But we all understood that that would be it. If something like that, if nuclear strike would happen, that would be a complete end of life on Earth as we knew it. And that was a very, very scary feeling. And that feeling went away in 1991. It's not a secret that the two countries were in stand, the United States and the USSR, and they had allies. You know, the stand ended in August of 1991. The Soviet Union lost. It fell down. It collapsed like a card house. I still remember that day, you know, people, Soviet people, for the first time in 70 years, they actually took charge. They went on the streets and they decided to change the way that their country was being governed. And they succeeded. A new country, Russia, was born, and the stand between the USSR and America, between two worlds, ended. The Warsaw Pact, the Eastern Bloc, fell apart and the countries gained independence. Along with that event, the fear of nuclear strike, nuclear fallout, nuclear war, global war, the end of life, disappeared. We understood that we were not the threat to the United States, and the Western countries also understood that Russia is not a threat any longer. Everything was so fantastic back then. I've said it many times. In that late summer of 91 and early fall, we were absolutely happy. We were feeling like being drunk without drinking. Not just myself, but all my buddies, all my friends at school, all the teachers, parents, adults that I knew. There was just incredible feeling on the streets that that's it, we have new life, we have hopes, we have future. That's absolutely fantastic. Everything's gonna be all right now. Our enemies all of a sudden disappeared and we got friends. We were introduced to the entire world's community. That was quite different from us, okay? And that was such a liberating, fresh, happy idea. Things that followed were incredible. You must remember following Moscow, walking down Gorky Park, listening to the Wind of Change, the Monsters of Rock concert in Moscow. I think to the day it's the largest public event that was held in Moscow, where all the big bands, AC/DC, Metallica, Bon Jovi came, and this was happiness, liquid happiness. If you would take air from that time and would extract liquid, you could bottle it, and it would be complete liquid happiness. That's how we felt. Fast forward to 2022. February 24th of this year, Russia started special military operation against Ukraine. That's a military conflict where soldiers and civilians die. Soldiers, because it's a military conflict, there are two armies involved. And civilians, well, at any military conflict, you cannot really avoid deaths of civilians, even if you try real hard, because it's military conflict, things happen. Vladimir Putin addressed us on the 24th of February, and he took full responsibility for making the decision. He pressed the button. It's out there in public. That's his personal responsibility of making that executive decision. The fears were back, big time, but different kind of fears. And then in the past 4 months, things have been unfolding and developing, and they have led us to this video that I watched last night.
So there's been a nuclear attack. Don't ask me how or why, just know that the big one has hit, okay?
In my opinion, this is the highest point of instability, of possibility of nuclear war. There cannot be a nuclear war between just two countries. That's a global event that will affect everyone. The entire life on the planet will be erased as we know it. That video rang a bell. It's clear that some authorities in America, New York City authorities, have started preparing for the unthinkable, the nuclear disaster. Why they have done that, I don't really know. Perhaps because one of the top Russian officials, Dmitry Anatolyevich Medvedev, third president of Russia, after and before Vladimir Putin, who is currently one of the top officials in Russian Federation. He's a very serious guy, very serious job. He makes executive decisions. He's one of the top guys here in Russia. He's been making statements in his Telegram channel and in the media. I don't dare to quote him here, but you can Google and see for yourself. I was very disturbed by the messages. There have been some other statements by officials, Russian officials of lower level, but nevertheless. Perhaps it's because of those public statements American authorities started preparing. It is very clear that the new stand between Russia and the Western countries is on. It's a different kind of stand. Right now, Russia has much fewer allies, but it's more like Russia versus the West, where in the past it was the USSR and its allies versus America and its allies. Okay, so it's a different kind of stand, but you know what? It doesn't matter because it's as scary. Nuclear weapons, they have not disappeared over the 35 years. They're still there. The missiles can be launched at any second, as far as I understand. And I feel like I've seen two worlds. That world in early 90s, full of hopes, full of possibilities, full of smiles, full of happiness. And I'm seeing a different kind of world now, full of fears, misunderstanding of what's going on, full of despair and depression. My message today is I clearly understand that we made a wrong turn somewhere on the way. It would be not fair to blame just Russia for that. No, in international politics it takes more than two countries to tango. Russia did its share, but also did other countries. The United States, the Western countries, the NATO alliance, at different extent, but all politicians of the top countries are responsible and are to blame. They did something that kind of split the countries and put them into wrong directions. They didn't do enough to make it one world. They didn't do anything. They did not communicate. They did not negotiate. They did not prevent, okay? Instead, some of them instigated. Some of them put wood into fire, so to speak. I think it's a collective blame. It would be just not fair just to blame Russia. In any way, I'm not trying to take the blame off Russia. Russia is the country who actually started special military operation. Vladimir Putin made the executive decision. He is responsible for that, and he admitted it himself. So there are two worlds, back then and now. And my message is, I am trying to get down to this. I would like you to answer 3 questions in the comments. The first question is, do you agree with me? Or you think I'm just overreacting and panicking? Do you have fears, or you think everything's just fine, hunky-dory? Second, when and where did we take the wrong turn? This is hugely important to understand because we have to learn from this mistake in the future and not let it happen again. And the third, what do we do now? I personally do not have answers to these questions, and I'm asking you to help me out. Perhaps reading your comments, perhaps thinking either me or one of us could come up with the right answers. What do we do now? At the end of every live stream, I invite everyone to pray with me. This is not a live stream, but I still do invite everyone to join in prayer. Let's do it. Dear God, thank you very much for giving us a wonderful day. Thank you for giving us food on our tables, roofs over our heads, and surrounding us with people that we love and care about and who love and care about us. Please keep our children safe and healthy. Give us wisdom to raise our children the way that when they grow up, they will make this place a better world and will never fight and have wars with one another. Please help to stop bloodshed in Ukraine. Help every single person who's affected. Please answer his or her prayers. Make their wishes come true. Please reach out all leaders in the world who are responsible for making decisions whether or not to or stop this bloodshed. Touch their hearts, fill them with love, compassion, mercy, forgiveness. Make them softer so they make decision to stop the bloodshed. I'm asking to reach out and help Vladimir Putin, Russian president, Joe Biden, American president, Vladimir Zelensky, Ukrainian president, fill their hearts with love, compassion, mercy. Give them forgiveness. Open their eyes. Please make them stop the bloodshed. Help every single person in Ukraine. All people, regular people, Ukrainian soldiers, Russian soldiers. So keep everyone out of harm's way so not one single drop of blood is shed anymore. thank you for giving us opportunity to come together in this virtual community and discuss very serious and pressing issues and pray together. Please help everyone who is praying with me right now or watching us pray. Please answer their prayers and make their wishes come true. I would like to ask you for every single woman who is pregnant and making a decision whether to keep the baby or not. Talk to every single person, woman in this position, and reach out her heart and their hearts, and so they make the right decision. Please help all people who have been displaced, immigrants who are seeking refuge in other countries. Send good people and help their way, please. I would like to mention a few people who reached out and asked to be mentioned. They are Nine Veka, Yelena, Natasha, Jake, Michael, Oля, Dasha, Sky, Bonnie and Igor, Buzz and Mary, Jean-Paul, Paula, Janine, Michael, Marlene, Narnian Lady, Susan S., Sabrina, Fiona, Susan, Madeline, Stephen, Ellen, Paul, Martin, Allison and Dave Moyers, I Found Waldo, Liz, Ariana, Liz, Bruce B., Kayleen, Thomas, Tony Christian, Bob, Jessica, Minutes to Midnight, Donald from Wisconsin, who's asking for himself and his country, the United States of America, myself, who is asking for my country, Russia, and for Ukraine. I would like to ask for everyone who is down with COVID-19 right now, please help them. And there are 3 children I want to mention. They are Maverick, Sebastian, and Britzel Andrews. They need your help. Please show miracle to their kids and their families. They need to go home and be with their families healthy again. So please show your mercy and show your miracle. Thank you very much, dear Jesus. Amen. My friends, thank you so much. I will see you in the live stream tomorrow.